If infidelity has left you exhausted from checking his phone, replaying painful memories, and feeling stuck, I'll show you how to reclaim your confidence and save your marriage in just 10 minutes. But before we dive in, I want to share a sobering statistic. According to a 2019 survey, only 15% of marriages survive after infidelity. That means that the vast majority, 85%, don't make it. Now you might be thinking, Sariah, that's devastating. My marriage has no chance. But I promise you what I'm going to share with you today is exactly what the experts aren't talking about. The truth is, marriages don't fail because of the infidelity itself. They fail because of emotional instability and lack of trust. But it's not for lack of trying. Most women have done everything: therapy, couples counseling, Bible study, avoiding his phone, pretending everything's fine, reading self-help books, attending 12-step groups, and asking him for every detail. But despite all that effort, they still find themselves nowhere near the kind of marriage they truly want. Take Rachel, for example. After discovering her husband's infidelity, Rachel was left with deep feelings of rejection, low self-esteem, and zero confidence. She wanted nothing more than to revive the thriving marriage she once had with her best friend of 19 years. She longed for connection, closeness, and the happiness she knew was possible. The problem was, despite trying everything, therapy, couples counseling, church groups, and hours of reading online, Rachel still found herself stuck. She relived the details of the affair over and over and felt angry and resentment toward her husband and couldn't be intimate without intrusive thoughts. She was starting to feel hopeless and wondered if it was just time to give up. Now, I'll update you on Rachel in just a moment, but first let me share why I'm the right person to guide you through this journey. My name is Sariah Bastian with over 18 years and 10,000 hours of training, education, and experience in trauma recovery, specifically focused on the effects of trauma on the body and neurosomatic psychobiology. I have helped hundreds of women worldwide heal from the trauma of infidelity and reclaim passion, intimacy, and connection in their marriages. For nearly a decade, I worked alongside one of the world's foremost experts in sexual addiction and betrayal trauma recovery, learning cutting-edge techniques to help women navigate the emotional and physical impact of betrayal. And like many of you, I've been through the emotional turmoil of infidelity myself. I know what it feels like to be consumed by anxiety, distrust, and the endless rumination that comes with it. I tried therapy, couples counseling, and every solution I could find. I constantly questioned myself and felt like I was losing myself in the process. I became exhausted by the emotional weight, and it began affecting not only my marriage, but my entire life. But here's the thing, I found a way to regain my confidence and reclaim my life. I discovered how to move beyond the trauma of infidelity and create a life and marriage filled with love, trust, and peace that I deserved. That's the exact process I'll share with you today because I know how it feels to be in your shoes, and I know firsthand that it is possible to heal and rebuild. Today, I'm going to share two powerful things with you. Number one, how to overcome your husband's infidelity and create a connected, trusting marriage without constantly worrying about him or what he's up to by healing your emotional trauma. And number two, even if your husband is taking zero responsibility and you're unsure if he's truly committed, how you can still find total clarity, peace, and confidence in your decision to stay or go because you've healed your emotional trauma. I realize that nobody prepares you for the shock of your unfortunate reality when infidelity infiltrates your marriage. Of course, the initial action is to ask Google or ChatGPT where to start. And with that, the nearest therapist that's in your insurance plan is brought up in your search, and you begin the long route of therapy sessions, where week after week you participate in couples and individual therapy, as you write and rewrite the list of boundaries to give your husband, telling him what he can and cannot do that you need to watch for to help you feel safe, connected, and to know he's trying to rebuild trust. Where week after week you bottle everything up until your weekly session where you spill out every play-by-play of what he did or didn't do or said or didn't say as you white-knuckle the 6 months you gave yourself before the decision of whether you should stay or leave. And where week by week you put your life on hold as you prepare for your husband to give you full disclosure. And all of this only leaves you hypervigilant and anxious as you watch to see if he's going to comply with the list of boundaries you've set. It leaves you gathering ammunition of what he's done well and what he hasn't done well to bring to your therapist in hopes they will be able to tell you the best decision to make for your life because you can't seem to make that decision yourself. And it leaves you nervously anticipating the date you've told yourself for the final decision, doing no real work to help you come to the conclusion, and dreading the day's arrival because you are just so confused about what to do. And it leaves you spiraling in fear and preparing for your weekend of self-care post full disclosure and being left with no real tools, no real understanding of not only what to do with this information, but how to build a marriage from there. And because you don't experience any major shifts or experience any major progress, you begin to feel hopeless and even fear spending more money on your marriage because you don't want to waste your time or your money. It's starting to feel like it's not worth it. This is exactly where I get dozens of applications every day from women who've done everything: therapy, couples counseling, setting boundaries, and more, and they're still struggling. They're triggered, overwhelmed by guilt and shame, and feel unsafe, lacking confidence and trust in themselves. They can't sleep because of nightmares, and they feel numb and stuck in their heads. If you're nodding your head right now, feeling that same hopelessness, I want you to know you're not alone. The old ways of reconnecting and rebuilding a marriage after infidelity don't work, and that's okay. You've done the best you could with the information you had, but now it's time to face the truth. This approach won't help you create a long-term, sustainable, loving marriage. The real key to rebuilding a healthy, loving marriage full of trust and mutual respect after infidelity is to heal the emotional trauma inside your body. This is the step most people miss, and it's the most powerful way to create the lasting change you're looking for. If you're the type of woman who wants this kind of marriage, you're not willing to settle for the same old patterns and endless cycles of trauma and doubt. You're done feeling stuck in the past, rehashing the pain over and over again. You want the marriage you envisioned when you first said, "I do." You're not looking for vague advice or random solutions that leave you questioning, what now? You want a proven path, something that will show you exactly how to heal, rebuild, and move forward. No more wasting time on information that doesn't get you closer to the life and marriage you want. And you're ready to make decisions with confidence, not hesitation. You're done giving away your power to someone else. Now you're ready to take control of your healing and your future. You know that you have the strength, the clarity, and the ability to move forward. You just don't know how. Let's talk about Grace for a minute. After years of therapy and group therapy, reading and studying more on the subject than she did for her master's degree, countless conversations with her husband, and a separation trial, she was still experiencing low self-worth, anxiety, fits of rage, hypervigilance, and days lost looking through her husband's phone. This was keeping her marriage estranged because her husband was doing everything she'd asked, but her lack of self-esteem, her continual monitoring of him, and her extreme fear were taking their marriage deeper into despair. We worked with Grace and taught her to heal her emotional trauma, which allowed her to stop spending hours searching through her husband's phone, learn how to communicate effectively, trust herself once more, and has been able to see with clarity and discernment that her husband was truly working his recovery, and she is now enjoying a thriving marriage. So here's how I help you. I help you overcome your husband's infidelity by healing your emotional trauma. Now, the fascinating thing about this is it doesn't matter how severe or minimal the infidelity that you experienced was, or how long ago it took place. You can heal your emotional trauma no matter what your history is by using my framework. So if he just looks at pornography, or just has a habit of creating profiles on dating websites, or just had 3 different emotional affairs in your 15-year marriage, or just one 17-year affair that has ended up being a double life, this works. This process allows you to release the constant fear, insecurity, and rumination holding you back, replacing it with trust, peace, confidence, and clarity to move beyond infidelity and rebuild your marriage. Now, remember Rachel? We walked Rachel through the process of healing her emotional trauma so she could fully clearly see how to embrace her marriage, and these have been her results. She's no longer policing her husband's every move and says she never wants to go back to that. She has found her value and is no longer living in the past, and she has safety in herself, and because of that, her marriage is flourishing. Healing your emotional trauma is the fastest, most efficient, and most effective way to save your marriage after infidelity. But you have to do this right. Just doing another EMDR session or going to a healer to have them clear your energy doesn't work. I know it's scary to keep investing in your marriage, especially if you're unsure whether your husband is fully committed. But here's the truth. The key to healing and rebuilding isn't dependent on him. It's about you. So let's dive into the second thing I wanted to share with you today. Even if your husband is taking no responsibility and you're unsure whether he's all in, you can still have complete clarity, peace, and confidence in your decision, whether that's to stay married or not, because you've healed your emotional trauma. Married women want a partnership. They don't want to be the one who does all the work, especially when he's the one that brought this on. I can help you create the foundation of the marriage you want, even without your husband on board or knowing every ounce of information or the whys, wheres, and hows. And this is key. The reason your marriage isn't working right now is because you are living with a brain, nervous system, and body that has been overtaken by emotional trauma. So here's what I do. I teach you how to heal the emotional trauma that has impacted and infiltrated your very being. This means ridding yourself of the constant triggers. Then I give you the step-by-step tangible tools to rebuild trust, not only in your marriage, but in your own intuition. And then I teach you how to reconnect to who you used to be, which allows you to come back into your marriage stronger than ever if you choose to, or have the skills to thrive in a new relationship if you decide to leave. Now, notice how none of this has anything to do with whether or not you have all the nitty-gritty details or know your husband is truly in this before you get started. Brianna felt so lost after her husband's infidelity. She was living in a place of constant anxiety, panic, and fear, and had no self-esteem. She found herself doing things she never thought she'd do, like locking her husband out of the house when he would take out the trash so she could be alone with his phone to ensure he was really on board and she wasn't wasting her time. But no matter what she found or didn't find, she was never sure of him or herself or what to do with the information or non-information she'd found. And as much as she wanted her marriage to survive, her insecurities and her constant questioning were creating a marriage exactly opposite to what she wanted. We were able to help Brianna heal her emotional trauma, rebuild the sustainable skills to repair trust, and reconnect with her husband to rebuild the marriage that they both so badly wanted. And now she no longer monitors her husband. She's no longer living in anxiety and rumination, and she has been able to create a beautiful marriage. And she and her husband are adorable, by the way. But let's say you do all of this work and you find out he's still cheating on you. Well, so far we've discussed how healing your emotional trauma allows you to rebuild trust so that you can reconnect with who you used to be to come back into your marriage stronger than ever if you choose to, or have the skills to thrive in a new relationship if you decide to leave. I know you didn't ask to be in this place, and I know it's not fair, but this work isn't about what you've done, it's about what has been done to you. This path is the most sustainable, long-term way to not just save your marriage, but to save yourself. It's not only the best way to rebuild your marriage, it's the best way for you to heal and thrive. So here's how I help you. First, I teach you how to release the emotional trauma that's controlling your body and mind. No more panic attacks, sleepless nights, or constant triggers. You'll finally feel at peace. Next, I give you proven tools to rebuild trust, not just in your marriage, but in yourself. You'll stop reacting to him and start responding with clarity and confidence. Finally, we reconnect you with the version of yourself that's confident, empowered, and ready to make the best decisions for your future. This is about you finding peace, confidence, and clarity. It's about healing yourself. One of my clients said, healing has happened on a deep cellular level that I never thought was possible. I've tried everything, and this program was the missing piece. Now I have total clarity, peace, and confidence in my decision to stay married. Another client said, "These tools have helped me become the happiest I've been in years. I thought I'd always struggle with anxiety, but now I can breathe. And this program has been the key to my healing." So you have two choices right now. You can continue to try to figure this out on your own, think about where you want your marriage to be and how to get there. You can go have another conversation with your husband where he swears to you that he's all in and that he isn't talking to her, which will temporarily ease your discomfort, only to repeat over and over. Or you can learn the proven system from someone who has not only done it, but has helped multiple hundreds of women all over the world do it as well. If you're ready to take control and rebuild the marriage you've always dreamed of, click the button below. Thank you for joining me today, and I can't wait to help you on your journey.